These motherfuckers right here. Yes, these motherfuckers right here. Fuck 'em. We don't want to talk about them. It's getting boring as fuck. These motherfuckers right here. Yes, these motherfuckers right here. Fuck 'em. We don't want to talk about them. It's getting boring as fuck. These motherfuckers right here. Yes, these motherfuckers right here. Fuck 'em. We don't want to talk about them. It's getting boring as fuck.
Those donkey balls are bouncing all around. Bounce up, bounce up. Oh, stop the fire. Those donkey balls are bouncing all around. Those donkey balls are bouncing all around. Those donkey balls are bouncing all around. Those donkey balls are bouncing, making all praise.
Sniffing, you can smell them. Those donkey balls are yelling, and they're swinging to the beat of the loser's song. Never turn your back, 'cause those donkey balls are bouncing on your dreams. Suck 'em. Those donkey balls are bouncing on your chin again. What a sin, we got to grin again and again. Never turn your back, 'cause those donkey balls are bouncing on your dreams. Suck 'em. Those donkey balls are bouncing on your chin again. What a sin, we gotta grin again and again.
He would be so scared to see me.
Everybody thinks we was doing this shit, doxing motherfuckers. Nah, they came at us first.
I got a fire raging in my front yard.
Oh, why did you set your front yard on fire? Are you drinking anything?
Smacking off the podcast. Fuck your teams, our boss. Because fuck authorities. Smacking off the podcast. Fuck your team, our boss. You call them such authorities.
Smacking off the podcast.
What's up, guys?
All right, Bud. I still got background music. Do you still have the background music?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. Welcome back to Smacking Off the Podcast.
Welcome back. And I hear we have a new NCAA baseball champion.
No, we don't.
Do we not?
We're not recognized.
No, Ed.
No, Ed, we can't hear you.
Okay, so Ed, you're happy that LSU won because you picked them, right?
I wouldn't say I'm happy. I just had a feeling.
I mean, I could not find any LSU baseball pictures except for this monkey holding a baseball bat.
That's all they are.
That's all I could find. So
that's all they deserve.
It's what we had to go with.
I'm not recognizing it.
It's got an asterisk beside it as far as you're concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Because they fucking suck.
Yep.
I got a sneaky question. I got a sneaky question, which is not the question I sent you last night.
Okay, where is that?
So I got some sports cards through a company called Arena Club, which is like online slab pulling.
Uh-huh.
And I got a Gem Mint 10 DJ Langway refractor card, and people are trying to sell it to me or trade me other cards for it, and I'm not budging.
Don't budge.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah, I think the Lagwood card's a pretty safe bet. As long as you don't get hurt. Because, I mean, Lagway, nobody's giving him any credit for in the groups. Oh, Florida this, Florida that, is that they were 6-1 when he played, and he played some of that injured. I mean, he completely transformed them offensively and made them dangerous with his ability to put an accurate deep ball up and to evade the rush. And that even goes beside the run and all that. But the fact that
one game was he didn't start.
Yeah.
One guy tried to trade me my card. It was a Gem Mint 10 CD Lamb, but it's not even a rookie. I'm like, come on.
Nope. I'd hold on. And if you ever get a chance, DJ is probably one of the nicest and coolest guys about signing stuff. So if you ever have a chance for him to sign it, I would hold on to it. Without it signed, I think it's going to be worth a lot more than a CD Lamb.
Yeah, we got this depression coming on, Ed. You got to do for you and yours.
You hold on to it.
What depression is that?
The Great Depression of 2025. Shit, I don't know.
Do you really think that's coming?
No, I don't. But I think it might have if we didn't make a change when we did. But that's another podcast for another day, right?
No, there's Great Depression because LSU won baseball. That's the
And it was controversial too, Nikki. In the first game they won against Coastal, a lot of people felt that the calls fucked Coastal.
Did you guys see how horrible that ump was?
Oh yeah, he was bad.
I wasn't believing it at first because they weren't showing close up where that ball was outside. And then they started, it was after the first game, they were showing the strike zone that they were giving LSU, but they weren't giving it to Coastal. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And then the second game was even worse. That strike zone was even worse when it came to what they were giving LSU. That has a lot to do with why I don't agree. I'm not happy about it, but most of it.
They was giving the LSU guys the damn Greg Maddox strike zone. To me, that's the most overrated pitcher of all time. I mean, they would call stuff for him that was clearly nowhere near a strike, and they just propped him and the other. I forget Schmaltz, him, The refs propped them up. They made them what they were, and they made LSU what they were in this series, in my opinion. And now is Sean going to join us tonight? Does anyone know if Sean's going to join us tonight?
I do know that. Did you see the one strike that really stood out to me, and it had me going in to research the other ones? They called a strike on one of the balls that actually almost hit a Coastal player.
Yeah, and I think I might have seen that pitch because I watched the second game in its entirety and a lot of the first game, and I
And
just think I agreed with you on the pitching on that. I mean, here with social media and with so many people sharing and so many ways to record the stuff and to look at it again and again and again, I don't know that it's a great look. And there's a lot of talk about officiating, and there's some accountability in the officiating, at least for college football, according to some of the headlines. Now, I want Sean to join us on the show. Welcome to the show, Mr. Divine.
Hey, how we doing?
Ron,
And did you
How you
catch
feeling about
anybody?
how you feeling about this LSU championship, Sean?
College baseball?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's they won the games. They're deserving champions.
no, they didn't.
That's not what Nikki said.
That's what I saw. I think
No,
they won the second. They won the second game. What 5-1?
Yeah, no,
So
she
yeah,
said.
I wasn't trying to disrespect them with this picture. I just could not find any pictures when I was looking.
I
So,
think everyone was probably rooting for the little guy in Coastal, but they just didn't quite get it done.
I
Nikki
just
felt
don't.
they had a Greg Maddux like strike zone for LSU and a tight strike zone for Coastal.
I didn't, and I didn't honestly believe it during the first game because I wasn't really paying attention to the strike zone until I started seeing replays of it after, and where the announcers or the camera guys were actually showing where they zoomed in on it, because I think more than just like fans were seeing it, because they even talked about it on Sports Center how they weren't happy with what they were calling. And I then started noticing it even more in that second game because I was more tuned in. And that one pitch, they would have walked him. Um, it was a full count. They would have walked him. That ball almost hit the Coastal player, and he called a strike. That to me, just I don't know. No, LSU deserved it. They won. I won't take that away from them, even though I can't stand them. But I just think they should be held. The umps should be held accountable, just like any other. If it, a ref in football or any other sports, there should be questioned. They should at least be questioned on why was it so different between the teams. Why did they not have the same strike zone between Coastal and LSU? That's the only
Yeah,
thing that
yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I think the refs, for baseball should be held accountable like they are in the other sports. For
yeah.
sure. I mean,
And
but we had that
Did you
problem.
see what she was talking about, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't quite notice it, but I had it.
You
I had
you
it
ain't
on.
arguing. You haven't looked into it.
I haven't looked into it. Yeah, I've heard about it, but I didn't look into it in detail. But yeah, I mean, it's a bad umpiring, particularly behind the plate, is an issue at the major league level.
it
So
is. And I know nothing will be changed, but I just feel like same as in football, those refs, the umps, they have to be questions on why it was different. If you're calling this a strike, it should be called a strike on both teams, not just one. And why do you feel it was called, why should it have been called different? Just an explanation. I think that would make people happy. No changing of the outcome. LSU deserved to win, but they should be some type of questions when it comes to it. Even when you got Sports Center and all of these other, shows that are putting up the same pitches side by side, and you're seeing one's a ball and one's a strike. Why? and we see it in the bigs every day. And this is nothing new. We see it. Oh, we see it every day. So we just need to find out why is it so different sometimes between one team strike and another team's.
You know what
Now,
we need? We need AI umpires.
I was gonna say, give us the robot umpires.
It's
That's
coming.
what I try. We've heard about it for a few years. At some point, they feel like that's what they're going to go to. At least two of the, you know, guys on the field are supposed to be robots. Who knows if it ever happens? But
You know what the scary thing about that is, though, Nikki? What if it can still be manipulated and then like nobody can say anything because it's AI and everybody will be like, AI
Well, don't put the Astros in charge of it.
I a robot 100% can be more manipulated than because those are all done, but they're computerized. So
now as a catcher, you can manipulate the umpire's perception of the strike zone. And I'd say that's why different clubs are probably against the robots because if they had a truly skilled catcher on the level of say Pena or Johnny Bench or somebody like that, then you could do stuff with your glove and the way that you catch the ball that can manipulate the perception of the umpire. But the umpire can also the home plate umpire, but he can also go to first and ask them, and that's something else that isn't talked about enough. So on a controversial call at the plate, you can also go to the first place umpire, and he can call the ball or strike. A lot of people don't know that. Now, and I'm also curious about the action on it. So there's several things in terms of viewership, and I'm curious if it's reflected in the action on this game. Now, Ed, you have something to do with the betting world. How do you feel the action was on these games?
They're really very, very little of it.
And the reason I brought that up, Ed, is because the Women's College World Series, even though it wasn't by a lot, got better ratings than the Men's College World Series. Were you all aware of that?
Yes.
I was not aware of that.
Nor was I.
I think that just falls under the category of cute shorts explanation.
No, you know what I think it is? And it might be off, but we had a College World Series that didn't have Oklahoma in it this year. More
Yeah.
people tuned in because we had two different teams in that's never been there. One of them hasn't been there in years. I
But
think
that Nikki, dynasties generally drive ratings.
but it hasn't the last few years in softball because everyone already knew who was going to win.
Yes. Now, the only dynasty I ever saw that didn't cause the ratings to go down was the Steelers dynasty in the 70s, and that's because the competition in the AFC against the Steelers in those days was ludicrous.
Those receivers, dude.
Oh yeah, but the competition was.
They made. I mean, let's just face it. Terry Bradshaw is not a fucking great quarterback.
Yeah, Lynn Swan and John Stallworth certainly helped him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking. I mean, I know there's people that probably love Terry Bradshaw, and I don't have a problem with Terry Bradshaw, but I mean, he really hit the jackpot with the team that he inherited there.
He's not anywhere near the GOAT conversation, but he's a winning quarterback.
Well, he's definitely willing to have that conversation. He thinks a lot more of himself than I think of him.
But I have to admit, I was rooting for the Oilers with Dan Pastorini all those years.
And that's my point too. Is the reason that dynasty was interesting is the competition to unseat them in the AFC at that time was off the hook. The Raiders, the Oilers with Dan Pastorini and Earl Campbell, the Bengals. The third-rate quarterbacks,
and you have to understand too when they popped up and they started having success. They was an embarrassing franchise for a long time, and nobody ever pictured them doing anything.
Oh yeah,
and they turned from that into what they were in the 70s just really fast.
And the Reds dynasty was very popular nationwide. It was very often the game of the week And when I was a kid, you didn't have to just watch it on local TV. It was the game of the week all the time with Joe Garagiola and that bunch on NBC because teams can light fire and become the teams of the imagination for the whole country. But people hated the Yankees, and but people watch teams that they hate, just like Duke. People hate Duke. They watch Duke. They want to see them lose.
See him lose, right? I mean that Muhammad Ali is the heavyweight champion. I mean, half the
My dad
crowd was
hated.
there to see him lose,
My dad hated Muhammad Ali. Doug.
and he did not get. And Muhammad Ali did not give a fuck either way. I mean, he got
As
to
long
sell
as you
tickets.
watched.
What's that?
As long as you watched and made him money.
Absolutely.
But
And my dad hated Howard Cosell too, and he refused to call Muhammad Ali Muhammad Ali.
He was Cassius Clay, right?
He was Cassius Clay, right? The
Yep.
draft dodger. The draft dodger known as Cassius Clay. That's
My,
what
my, my granddad was the same way.
right, and he hated Howard Cosell as well. And well, my dad was wrong about a whole lot of things,
Well,
And
I mean, I don't know if he was wrong. I mean, I don't know if he was right either. It's just the thing, right?
I'm just talking about in terms of, for example, a guy come down my road on a Harley Davidson when I was like 6 years old. We lived in the middle of nowhere. Almost nobody come down my road. But a guy came down the road on a Harley Davidson. I'll never forget it. It was like a Ironhead Sportster, like a 1000. It had the AMF sticker on the tank, right? I'll never forget it. And my dad goes, that must be the nearest next to nothing that never was. Well, as soon as I was able to afford Harley Davidson in my life, Uncle Sam provided me a $25,000 bonus. I went and took my $25,000 fucking bonus.
Are you trying to say that Harley Davidson owes your dad a commission?
Oh, they owe my dad a lot of money.
So I will say this about Muhammad Ali real quick. Whatever you think of the guy, he didn't run and hide. He showed up to court. He could have fucking went to prison. He didn't run and hide. Now, a lot of people did in that era.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And same thing with Howard Cosell. A lot of people didn't like him, and he was popular, so people could hate him, right? And but Howard Cosell was one of the all-time greats, and he didn't mind to be that guy. He didn't mind to be the heavy. I mean, it's just like the Who, right? Nobody knows what it's like to be the bad man, to be the sad man behind blue eyes, right?
Who would have thought that the Who would have chimed in on this?
That's right.
In the 1960s.
But it's true, right? If you're that guy, whatever it is, right? If you're that bully, you can get ratings for people wanting to be against you, right? And being that bully, whether it's in wrestling, whether it's on the basketball court, right, is a big deal. Bill Laimbeer wasn't a great basketball player, but he was a bully, so I know his name. Do y'all know his name?
Oh, yeah.
I do know.
You see what I'm saying? But the bullies like that, right? Guys like, the Raiders were full of bullies on defense when I was a kid, right? And I remember to this day. I mean, Jack Tatum was a ruthless motherfucker, if y'all excuse my language. But these people were ruthless, right? And I remember those guys. Those are the guys I remember. I remember Jack Ham, right? Jack Ham was ruthless. He was a ruthless motherfucker. He wanted to hurt people. That was his goal, right? I mean, and the league is trying to cut some of that out. But that's what you remember about life. It's not necessarily how great the champion was, but how evil the villain was, right? And sometimes the champion and the villain can be the same thing.
You got to have a villain. You got to.
Yeah, got to have a villain, man. And
If you don't have one, you got to make one up.
So Coastal Carolina was a popular pick because people don't like LSU. They feel they're whatever reason, people feel they're the villain, right? The villain won this one time. But if you're Coastal Carolina and you've got 1/10 the athletic budget and a TV contract that don't mean nothing, right? Then it's a big victory for Coastal Carolina, no matter what happens.
You're right.
Yeah, but I will say this when it comes back to Terry Bradshaw, I think that man is absolutely amazing, and I will never say anything bad about him because we won Terry's money a few years ago on Fox Bet. He gave us $7,000.
Damn right.
So
Hallelujah.
Terry, an amazing man.
Well, that just proves one thing. You was not alive in the 70s, were you?
No, I wasn't.
So my dad was a Dallas Cowboy fan, and I know that about you.
Mm-hmm.
And he hated Terry Bradshaw and that whole fucking crew because
they beat him.
Right. That
But
and just
probably
every time my dad ever bet on Dallas, they lost by
But
one
Good.
more point than what he needed.
oh, and here's the best part: the game that James won, it was like $5,900.
Mhm.
My goodness. That's never
Uh,
bad.
it was a
Everybody
Thursday
was mad at Terry recently. He said something on air that shook everybody up about something, and I
night.
would try to
He
remember what it was.
It was almost $7,000 a Thursday night game, and of all the teams, it was the Giants against the Eagles.
Mm.
So two of our most hated teams, James won money off of.
I'll say this about the Giants. The first NFL team that I followed was the '86 Giants.
Mm.
Started watching them early and realized this team's not going to lose. They did lose one more in the regular season after I started paying attention, but that was it.
Well, they had a quarterback change during that
That was a good team.
season.
Joe Morris was a tough little fucker.
Well, did he go to Michigan?
Never heard of it.
No, it was all
No, I remember Jamie Morris. Jamie
Yeah,
Morris beat Alabama in the fucking Hall of Fame game.
Isn't Michigan still an all girls school, kind of like FSU?
They used to be a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. So I think Michigan.
Isn't that where Jenny was going in Forrest Gump? Wasn't it FSU?
Oh,
come on, Sean, get us up to date. I know you know this.
I don't know. I don't know. That's,
I think it was. No, it wasn't. It had to have been an Alabama school because it was two schools within so far, or it could have been FSU and like another. There's not another small school near FSU there.
Yeah, Florida A&M, but that's a traditional black school.
I don't. Well, I mean, it was Jenny, so we don't know. We don't know.
Jacksonville State could have been Jacksonville State.
You know,
Not Jacksonville State, Florida, but Jacksonville State, Alabama. Could she have been there?
I don't know. It was mentioned that it was definitely a all-girls school.
Watch the damn movie and find out.
Yeah, here, I'll pull it up. All right, for the rest of the show, we're going to do the audio of Forrest Gump.
I'm just gonna Google it because I'm not gonna watch 5 hours of a movie. No.
You don't watch Forrest Gump anymore?
God, I have to watch it every time it comes on because my kids are obsessed with it.
I mean, yeah, my daughter loves it. She's 17 now, so
luckily
she started digging that one when she was young.
Like, understand what it's really about, so that's a plus.
Right now, my daughter's on a Sling Blade kick. We haven't watched it. She's wanting to watch it here in the last few weeks, and we haven't pulled it off yet.
That's the last great movie I ever saw. I don't know which one was last, Forrest Gump or Sling Blade, but Sling Blade was the last truly great movie I ever saw.
Sling Blade was late 90s, and Forrest Gump was 93.
Yeah, Sling Blade was definitely the last great movie I ever saw. And I love Dwight Yoakam in that movie. I feel like Dwight Yoakam will have an Oscar-winning performance as himself.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, I get it. Billy Bob Thornton played a good Carl, and it was great. But no, you've got nothing without Dwight Yoakam as the villain in that movie.
Oh,
I mean, nobody else delivers that. Now his ex-girlfriend, what's her name? Sharon Stone.
Mm.
Is that her name?
I didn't know he had been with Sharon Stone. I know he spent a lot of time in L.A. He had a trip to success that was unusual. So instead of coming from here in the mountains and going to Nashville, he went to L.A.
I just thought I'd throw this out there that Sharon Stone said that the reason he played the part so well, Dwight Yoakam, is that's pretty much him in real life.
Oh, I believe that.
I don't know if I believe it or not, but because that's an angry former girlfriend, but
I'll Google it.
If you're John Wayne, don't you play yourself? I mean, didn't he really play himself? And it was, you could really be your most successful if you play yourself. I mean,
I mean he did. I mean he did nail that part so fucking so good that it's I mean, what has he done outside of that movie?
shit, a lot of music, but no more movies.
No,
He
yeah,
had
exactly.
something,
Acting parts.
yeah, there's only been a couple more he's been in. There's something else they mentioned because I watched a thing with him and Dan Rather today, and there was some other movie he was in that he was good in, but can't remember the name of it. Because what's that?
He was in Panic Room.
Panic Room, yeah, yeah. Now, what I could see is they need to do a remake of Harold and Maude, right?
Mm.
Another one of my daughter's favorite movies.
I think it's one of the greatest movies ever made. I was subjected to it, and I was like, God,
it is really weird. It's awesome though.
Yeah, it's awesome. I had to watch it. I had a girlfriend back in the day, and I was staying with her, and it was her house and all this. I didn't want to roll over the TV. And anyway, so she put this on. I'm like, fuck, I got to watch this. And I sit there. So I paid attention to it, though. And I was like, God damn, this is a hell of a movie.
She told you it was the greatest love story of our time, didn't she?
No, she told me that she was going to watch this movie, and I'd just have to suck it up.
Well, my daughter gets something totally different from that. And, a lot of people do call it that. But my daughter says that the old lady was basically using him.
Yeah, it's like a modern pedophilia. And that's why I went to Dwight Yoakam.
She knew she was going to kill herself. And, I mean, she gets, But anyway, Ed, you ever seen this movie?
No.
God damn it, Ed. Your assignment before next episode is to watch Harold and Maude.
I think it's on it's either on Paramount.
Sean?
I have not seen it.
God damn it, Sean.
All right,
yeah, it's I mean, even for an early 70s movie, I mean, nothing's going to shock you, obviously, but it's still got a weird fucking vibe. I mean,
I'll check it out.
What are we talking about in it? What was he, like 18?
Yeah, and what about the Cat Stevens soundtrack?
Oh, that's what makes the movie, in my opinion. But no, we're talking about an 18-year-old. I guess you would say they were dating an 18-year-old and an 80-year-old.
Yeah, they hung out at funerals for fun. They ran around in a purple hearse. It's just really special to me. I really understood Merciful Fate after I seen Harold and Maude, right? Before the Harold and Maude, I really understood King Diamond and Merciful Fate. But after I saw Harold and Maude, I pretty got Merciful Fate. You know what I mean? And of course, maybe they not like King Diamond as much as I do. But hey, Sean, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna lay a movie on you, Sean. So if we're talking about a young Brat Pack movie here, prior to the Breakfast Club, how about Taps? Have you ever seen Taps with George C. Scott? He must have had to go to the party and pour me another beer. Or pour himself another beer. I haven't had a beer. So, yeah, Taps had George C. Scott and a young Tom Cruise and a young Sean Penn and a couple of those other guys, the new generation of actors from that day, which are now the old generation. And I always wondered how Harold, the guy that played Iron Man, what's his name? Robert Downey Jr. Yeah. Hell, man, he must have had a lot of surgery and shit because he sure looks young for a guy my age. You know what I mean?
Probably a lot of work done.
Yeah, because I'm the same age as most of those Brat Packers. I grew up with them, just same, and watched all of it. Rob Lowe, all those guys, right? They're all about roughly the same age I am. So I found that interesting that he looks so good. So, of course, I can't afford his doctor. And now, how do y'all feel about the now that pay to play can just openly pay players, right? Is that going to lead to the collapse of the NIL collectives? What are we going to have here? So what's the thing with that moving forward? We're going into a college football system where they can just openly pay players, right? And
yes, thank you.
Thank you. Did she bring you a beer?
No, just a headache.
So, what do you think, Ed? Now that they're openly paid players, you think it's going to figure into the betting on it?
No.
No, I like that.
You know what I think is going to happen?
What's that?
The rich get richer. Because not only do they able to use booster money, they can use what money they have to. So the richer, which I know a lot of them were using their own as well. But I do believe the schools with the most money, it's going to stay the same way. The rich get richer.
Yeah.
But my opinion on it is that it always went on. Now that's going to go to this, and now they don't have to use some sham, right, of NIL and all that bullshit. It's just going to go back to the way it was before all this, right? Where because they paid them anyway, right? And I'm confident that Oklahoma was great because they paid the most money to the guys they could get. I'm confident that other teams throughout the nation, I just use them as an example, that were blue bloods, were willing to do whatever it took to be number one, and they paid them guys, even if it meant all kinds of court cases, whatever. They used any edge they could get, whether it was legal or not.
So we're saying SMU will be winning a national championship in the next 2 years.
Yeah, I'm saying that. Well, I don't want to put a date on it, but if a guy like T. Boone Pickens decides he wants his alma mater to win the national championship, he'll throw a lot of money at him. So what does it really change? It changes who you root for, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know about within the next 2 years, but I'm definitely going to be a little surprised if within 10 years SMU hasn't grabbed one, because they definitely got the commitment on the money end, and all the roadblocks are gone now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then look at Notre Dame. Notre Dame is not going to fall off. I don't know who's how or
I think Notre Dame's going to get there. Notre Dame, this was the best Notre Dame team I've seen in a long time this year. And I don't know if Sean will agree, but
I agree. Yeah,
And I think that they're going to be
absolutely.
this coming up.
so
yeah,
obviously
yeah. This is a program that's not going to just get there and then say goodbye. This is a program that may win it all.
I think they realized, and Freeman type of coach, why we didn't win is because we were lacking in these few little areas. Oh, we fixed it. Pay that extra money to make sure that we have those guys and we don't lose next year.
yeah. And also if you look at Coastal Carolina's baseball win, even though they didn't win the championship, they were in the end. And the fact that they've had a New Year's Six bowl game under their belt, it's also going to bring questions up about trying to exclude people outside of the big super conferences from getting in these championships. Just like Notre Dame was in the championship, was in the PFP last year and had some success, even though they can't deny them from getting in. Either that or they have to make two separate whole entities. So it's going to be tough, and there's always going to be an outsider who has a chance, right? As long as they allow that to go on, and that's my fear is that the big super conferences are going to try to exclude everybody but the members of their conferences. At that point, if you were Notre Dame, then you go lead the other conference. I don't know, but I worry about that happening.
So
And you know what happened?
I have one question. So we're headed into July. Of course, we're in August after that. We're getting pretty close to have to preview these conferences. So how many power conferences do we have now?
Four.
Okay, so we probably need to do a G5 segment before we do the four conferences. So we probably need to get started late July, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, man, we're right around the corner.
Hey, we might even put in the middle, because like what I was about to say is a lot of these smaller teams, they actually have a lot of money now that they're able to build a better team.
Oh yeah.
Well, I just want to throw this out there. ESPN is going to have a standalone app at this point that's going to be, I think, bundling with Hulu, and I think we're looking at $25 to $30 on the total. I'll definitely be doing that because I don't watch any fucking live TV. I really don't.
Except for sports, that's the only live TV I watch.
That's it.
And it was costing me a fortune. It was costing me $100 a month to have live Hulu, and unfortunately, I had to bundle it with everything under the sun, and all I needed was the
I used to
stinking.
do YouTube TV when it was cheap, but it's real high now, and I just
Correct.
don't watch that much live TV.
Yeah, and I don't. What's that, Licky?
I think she's cutting out. She's got to be talking right now.
I think she is too. She tried to get in there, and because I was curious what her take was, since she's in the hotel business, those packages may not be cheap for them either, and they may be looking for alternatives as well.
Well,
And
you got ESPN by itself. I don't know. ESPN got the numbers. They've been doing studies on this shit for a few years, and they finally figured out how many people either subscribe to cable or subscribe to a online live TV package just for ESPN, and it was a tremendous amount.
yes, now if you can get over the antenna stuff on the airwaves, you can get everything that ESPN doesn't show that's still on local. And there's a lot of college football local. And my problem is I don't have good reception here in the middle of nowhere. But if you can pick it up, it's great. It's great picture on HDTV. It's incredible.
You need to get a 45-foot pole. Oh, Nikki's back. I didn't know she was gone.
She's back.
My God, I've had 10 calls for work.
Damn it, Jim. There has to.
That's what I'm
It's your
saying.
fault for answering the phone.
I get scared every time I go to decline. That's like the fourth time
I think the government's censoring every third word you say, Nikki.
they are. It's not great.
We need to get him off our girl. We need to call the big man and the big orange man in heaven. Leave Nikki alone. You know that?
We need to. So what's next on the horizon? I mean, I know we got football coming soon. What are we doing between now and football, y'all?
Well, we got
Crying.
No. Hey, all of us aren't Michigan fans, Ed.
no.
No, it's football, Doug. They could put our family members in football uniforms. I'm watching.
I'll tell you this. I don't know if y'all, because it's so insignificant and it's going to be so bad, I doubt that much other than local news is talking about it in the world of football. But I think Kentucky's set up to have a historically bad season, Joker Phillips level. And the future doesn't look good either, because now we're celebrating 3-star recruits.
Well, you know what they need to do to commemorate this. They should have went ahead and got Stoops out of there and rehired Joker Phillips.
Yeah, but they can't afford to pay the buyout for Stoops. But they might do it after this year, and we're going to see.
Joker Phillips is probably somebody they can afford after paying the buyout, right?
They could.
Yeah.
$. I don't see an issue with that. No, we have baseball right now.
Go Reds.
We're getting ready headed to All-Star break. We also, like, the recruiting trail right now is awesome. Watching some of the teams that you would expect to be recruiting the type players they are. They're moving quick. We had the draft last night in basketball.
Go Dallas.
Yeah, go Dallas. I was happy. And my Clayton went to Utah Jazz. I'm not sure how I like being in Utah, but I'm okay with that.
Hey, did y'all notice that the NBA draft listed Cooper Flagg at 6'7" and Duke listed him at 6'10"?
Lord.
Isn't that interesting?
I don't care if he's 4'11" if he just plays like he did when he was with Duke. Who cares?
Oh yeah, but
how tall was Spud Webb?
5'3" or 4.
And he could slam dunk that shit?
Yeah, the Muggsy Bogues was 5'6" and could slam too. You remember Muggsy Bogues?
No.
Muggsy Bogues is a great player. He played for.
He didn't play for Atlanta, and that was America's team, right?
No, he did play for Atlanta at one time, actually, I think.
Oh,
Muggsy
okay.
Bogues played for a few teams, but he started out Wake Forest.
Different height. So we're talking like Kyler Murray status, because he was coming out of high school freshman year. I think he was listed at like 6'8".
Oh yeah.
So they've listed at 3 different heights now.
So, Sean, how did Chicago do in the NBA draft?
Not good. The Bulls. The Bulls. At one point, I think in the second round, they had the 44th or 45th pick, and in typical Bulls fashion, they traded back because they were offered cash considerations. So, yet again, the Bulls will make do with less to put more money in management's pocket, and that's so it's been since Jordan left, and they'll be mediocre as per usual. So
They should have moved up to take Greg Oosterhouse Jr.
I would love to see the Bulls move up. They never move up, Ed. You know that. They stay where they're at or they trade back. That's what they do.
Oh,
So it'll be another depressing season for Bulls basketball fans.
Well, there was ESPN predicted that
Did you hear that Thunder hit right when he said that?
have the worst
I did.
record in the NBA.
You couldn't have planned that better, you know. There's a thunderstorm just developed right over top of me, and as soon as he said that,
and then Oklahoma City just won the Yep.
There it is again.
oh yeah,
I don't know if we've talked about that yet.
Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
winning the championship.
I don't know that somebody made a post the other day, and I'm thinking it might have been Jay Fields. Shit, I don't remember. That said, if somebody would have told Tim Bailey in 2001, did anybody see this post?
No,
If somebody would have told Tim Bailey in 2001 that Oklahoma City will win an NBA championship before Oklahoma wins another national championship in football, because they didn't even have a franchise then, did they?
No.
Yeah, I know. It was pretty funny. Even Tim got a laugh out of that one.
2008 or 2009 is when they stole them from Seattle.
Yeah. And they had a team then it was off the hook and they couldn't keep them together, and then now they've got a team that's off the hook. Obviously, now I wouldn't say their championship was tainted, but it wouldn't be as sweet if Halliburton had stayed healthy. And I'm not saying that he would that the Indiana would have won the series, because even me, an Indiana fan, picked against Indiana, but Indiana was looking real good. And they played
that
well.
definitely soured Game 7 for sure. I mean,
He has to have surgery now. He played with a torn ACL.
We're all getting ready there Sunday night to watch that game, and you're excited. Game 7, it hadn't been a Game 7, I think, since 2016. And then right there early on, Halliburton, tears his Achilles, and you go, well, kind of know how this game's going to play out, and that's exactly how it did play out. So
Yeah,
it's definitely a bummer.
It was a good game up until that point.
Yeah, it was looking great.
Yeah.
Sean, who do you see? I know it really won't get heated up until after All-Star break, because I really don't even pay. I mean, I watch my baseball before the All-Star break, but we don't really know until after. Who do you think, as of sitting right now, has the highest chance of just making it to the playoffs?
The Reds.
The Reds.
Yeah, they're on like a game streak right now, and they've crept above 500. So I got to be, even though I know it's all going to crumble, I have to be optimistic. But they have been rallying.
Hot at the right time, so that that's it. You might not see them crumble because they're getting hot at the right time.
Ed's invoking his Bob Euchre from Major League. Cleveland fans, if you haven't noticed or paid attention, your Indians are threatening to go above 500.
I mean,
I was going to add that I really
what are they called now? What are the Indians called now?
Guardians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I've never seen a Native American
the new name.
They
Say that again, Ed.
They could have been the Hindies.
I'm having a hard time.
No, I said the Spiders was the.
Yeah,
the
that was their original name. That's what they should have went back to.
Yeah.
There you go.
But sitting right now, I'm having a hard time. There's too many teams that are getting hot and will get hotter, especially by trade deadline and All Star. You know, they will get hotter. There's just quite a few teams playing basketball right now.
What'd you call
Yeah, to
me?
me, I think you got to wait till after the trade deadline to see who's a buyer and who's a seller.
There you go. And
I
I
mean,
think
especially now with the expanded playoffs, that more teams make it in. So
well, see, that's why I thought the Reds had a chance. But the truth is, to your point about the trade deadline, the real reasons the Reds are hot is because they've got their top prospects and they're marching out. They're marching them out there every night. And some of the pitching guys has worked out a little bit. And what's going to happen at the trade deadline is Cincinnati's going to shuck every one of them, so they don't have to pay them in the future.
Yo.
I mean, that's what the history of it is. So the Reds farm club's always been outstanding, and they're winning with all their prospects and young players right now, and that's why they're trotting out their top prospects every night. If you watch their lineup, it changes a little bit every night, and they're rolling out all their top prospects so they can go on a selling spree because the Cincinnati's afraid to pay anybody. Now, if they do like the Reds of yore, and which was Marge Shot and previous, and pay some guys and keep them around, they've got the makings of a team that can compete, but compete in the
I would
league.
hate to see them sell off there, Bob, because they're a bunch of young guys. They're fun to watch, and they're only 6 games out of first place. If they sell only 6 games out, then that ownership group needs to be forced to sell to someone
But
else.
like Bob said, he's to it. He's seen it year in and year out.
Six games is literally nothing. I mean, that's a weekend.
If you got young pitching that's just now coming on, and you keep them, to your point, Sean, then they could stay. They could at least get in the play. In my opinion, they could at least get in the playoffs, right? Because they got young, fresh arms that are doing well, and the bullpen is adequate, and the young bats are good, and Reds have great fielding this year, and great base running, and the bats has lit up the last 7 or 8 games, but who knows how long that'll take. But the fact that they got fresh arms that are doing well at this time of year, because this is the doldrums for baseball. Just like us right here talking about the whole sports world that we love. Right now is the time where a lot of it's in the doldrums. The golf is good, but it's not the big matchups you want yet. You're just pining for them to happen. In baseball, I'm laying around on Saturday and the game is on, and I'm hanging on for dear life, trying to keep from fighting the Z monster, right? But now that it's when the trade deadline hits, we're going to see teams make a lot of moves. We're going to see who's serious about who's going to be in it, and it will be time to start watching baseball, America's game. But the fact of the matter is, guys, what is it? 59 days to college football? Is it 60?
So I counted today. In 9 Saturdays, we will have college football.
Oh,
Good.
0.
Jesus Christ.
Nine Saturdays.
9 times.
That's week 0, Sean.
That is week 0. Yeah, and the highlighted game of that week is Farmageddon. Iowa State and Kansas State are taking their Farmageddon rivalry over to Ireland.
When you said 9 Saturdays, Sean, you sounded like Dean Rooney on. You know what I'm going to say.
Take off the primrose glasses,
Yep,
Mr.
9
Bueller.
times.
So that Farmageddon game loses some of its intrigue, not only early in the season, but in Dublin, because it's always a late season matchup with something on the line in very cold weather.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I'm not happy about it, but I'm sure it'll still be a hell of a game. And lately the games that you're getting over there in Ireland have been really good. You know,
exciting. I think
exciting. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna watch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think the other game that day is. I think Stanford plays Hawaii. I don't think that really gets anyone excited. And then there's one other one that is escaping my memory.
I say no, but I'm not even going to say no because I'm still going to watch it because back.
Yeah,
college
I mean,
football back.
I'm gonna watch it, but I don't think
Be-
anyone's too overly excited for Stanford and
No,
Hawaii.
but it's like back. I don't care who's playing. We're watching. Like you wait.
I
I
mean, they're
wait.
I think
Oh,
uh because Bob had mentioned it. Let me check here. Uh, so if you are looking to watch football, we're in week 4 of the Canadian Football League because they start much earlier because, of course, the harshness of the weather up in Canada gets bad in like October. So yeah, if you want to watch football, the Canadian Football League is.
Where's my shout out? Where's the shout out to my DC Defenders?
Oh,
Oh, the UFL there.
Yeah.
but two
Oh, there's the
NFL games
guys.
here.
So, Sean, I haven't watched a Canadian Football League in a while. Do they still have a 55-yard line?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And the Rouge.
You got in the fields wider, and you can run all over the place before the snap. Yeah, it's crazy.
Is arena football still a thing?
I don't think so. I think I think it was a COVID casualty.
goodness.
I mean,
I love
back in those days, I mean, you could kick
football.
that shit off the roof, and it came down and it was a live ball or some shit, man.
I
I
had all
remember they had some crazy fucking rules, and I'm probably wrong about that, and Sean would probably set me straight, but they did have some fucked up rules.
They
Did you ever
did
see
Oh, the
footage
arena.
of-
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
went to an arena
did you ever
football.
see- I'm sorry.
Don't be
Those
sorry.
games,
Don't be sorry, Bob. Tell us.
Did y'all ever see any footage of Jared Lorenzen, the ex-UK and Giants quarterback playing Arena League?
I did.
I mean,
I didn't see footage. I remember watching him.
he was blistering. He was blistering it. I mean, he had guys trying to tackle him. He was just dragging him around, throwing like 60, 70-yard passes. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, he was just athletic enough to be that big, and you couldn't tackle him. So I mean, it was a great thing for the Arena Football League, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
The
he
NFL
looked
didn't want any part of that shit, did they?
Yeah, he died. Unfortunately, he was well beloved here in Kentucky because we loved him here the way he played, and when he got a few chances with the Giants, I thought it was exciting, and I'm sad that he died the way he did. But he's a very beloved individual here in Kentucky, and I love
right.
Jared.
All right,
Yeah.
before we jump out, tell us about that death because I don't remember exactly how he died.
Well, he became extremely obese, and then he had health problems related to that.
No, he wasn't playing football at this point, right?
Nah, but at the end of his arena league, he probably weighed 450.
Yep.
Jeez.
And he was a gigantic dude, man. I mean, if I was standing next to him right now, I mean, I met him before he was technically obese in probably the late 90s, early 2000s. I met him. The guy was gigantic, man. And he was just one of them dudes that was just raw bone and huge. You know what I'm saying? I mean, his ankles looked like my knees, you know? And he was just gigantic.
He was the Chris Farley of college football.
Oh, yeah. And and I had a friend like I got to tell y'all a story. So I had a friend like that, and I had to follow him to Lexington. He had a big F-350. The reason he had an F-350 wasn't because he was redneck, but he wasn't the redneck. But the reason he had an F-350 was because he was so gigantic. It was about the only thing he could fit in, right? And
It's the only thing that gave him enough leg room, right?
yeah, and when he had the suspension modified, and not because that he was trying to be cool, because the truck had to be modified because he was so big that when he got in the truck, that it went down like a F-350 and go down like 4 inches, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, and he was a big redhead guy, and he only wore overalls, which that's the only thing you can find that fit him, a white T-shirt. So we had to follow him to Lexington. He's going to get his truck greased. And I'm riding down the road in my little Mustang, and he goes off on the new. We're on Nicholasville Road, getting ready to pull off on the off ramp for New Circle Road, which is like a loop around Lexington. So we get ready to pull off on the New Jerkle Road because they call everybody's a jerk on New Jerkle Road, and this guy gets in between us, and I guess when the light happens, the the Jason in the truck didn't move fast enough for old dude. He was in like a nice Japanese car, some sort like an Accord coupe or some shit. So this dude gets out, and it's a black dude that's pretty good size. I see was like 5'10", 5'11", and his neck was what was this wide, right? And
He had a Tyson neck.
his arms looked like basketballs. The guy that got out of the car, I'd say more like soccer balls. He had gigantic arms. You can tell his weight. Look, his back was a big V, and he's balls shit heavy. He's doing like this. He's strolling up to Jason's truck to talk shit about it because Jason didn't make it. It's a big road radius step. Well, Jason gets out of the truck, and all he does is just take his hand on the top of old dude's dome like this and picks him up, and then he carries him over
by the head?
Yeah, by the head. We got to remember Jason's fingers went all the way, and I've got gigantic fingers, right? But Jason's fingers in his hand went this far down my arm if me and him shook hands.
Wait, what are you trying to say, doctor?
And big around his sausages, right? Anyway, so he had his guy to the top of his head, and he carried him like that, dangling from his dome, right? And he opened the door on old dude's Honda Accord.
Grabbed him by his fucking cranium.
By his cranium, and he slung him in the car, right? And the old dude was so fucked up by the hit and bother moving, and people had to go around. It's like 3 lanes wide to get off on the New Circle Road, and people had to go around on the side and stuff like that because the old dude was just in the car laying with the door open, and we went on to the shop, you know. So you never know. That's how big.
Bob, did you ever see Police Academy?
Yes, I've seen Police Academy.
Remember when Mahoney taught Bubba Smith how to drive?
Oh yeah.
they had to pull the front seats out, and he just sat in the back and drove.
Yeah, that was totally.
That's what you're going to remind me of there.
Yeah,
all right, guys. So, has anybody got anything to say?
Oh, it's bedtime for this guy.
All right.
See y'all next week.
All right.
Later.
Night, everybody.
Bye.
Smacking off the podcast. Fuck your city, dog balls. Because sports authorities.
Thank you for supporting Smacking Off the Podcast. Make sure to stream in every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for an all-new live cast.